Welcome back to Robert's Reviews. I'm really excited because today we got a great movie for you. Today we're going to be reviewing Bruce Almighty. Bruce Almighty came out in 2003 and it was directed by Tom Shadyac. And it starred Jim Carrey, Morgan Freeman, Jennifer Aniston, and of course, Steve Carell. This is my first movie that Steve Carell was in that I'm going to be reviewing. So I'm going to add it to a list of other Steve Carell films, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a rating, and at the end, I'm going to compare it to other films that have already rated. So then at the end of a couple weeks, we'll have every film he's been in ranked from best to worst for you guys. So pretty excited about that. So Bruce Almighty is a very interesting movie. I loved it a lot when I was younger. I used to watch this growing up. I loved Jim Carrey. Um, Watching it as an adult, it's a little different. There are some issues with it that I will discuss later. But first, I'll give you guys a quick synopsis of the film. Bruce Almighty takes place around Jim Carrey's character Bruce Nolan, who is a news reporter, and he's trying desperately to get the anchor position because it pays more, and he'll be more famous. And essentially, what happens is somehow God reaches out to him and is like, "Hey, why don't you be God for a day if you think you can do it better?" Because he was complaining about God not helping him at all. So Bruce Nolan gets all of the powers that God can do. Which, whatever, I get it, fantasy film. Not going to complain about it. Am confused about some of the logistics of it, but that's okay. So Bruce goes on to do a lot of selfish acts, and he doesn't really help anybody that isn't him. In the whole film. Even towards the end, it's really all just for himself. I guess the whole idea of the film is that he's supposed to change. And he's supposed to realize, oh, I should do nice things for other people. He never really did that. He still did a lot of stuff for himself only, which, I get. He's a selfish person. Like, it's just going to happen. But I feel like there should have been some definite stuff that happened in between the middle and the end. The third act was like resolving all of his problems, but never really resolved his main issue, which was that he's selfish. Which is actually selfish to think about, that he just fixed all of his other problems and didn't change anything else. That's the movie. I'll get into more details later, but from a director standpoint, very well done. There is some wonderful stuff in this film. There's some really great stuff in this film. One scene in particular I love. I will always love the scene. I don't care what anybody says. Parting the Red Sea of tomato soup. That was one of my favorite scenes in every movie ever. It's hilarious. It's great. The effects are really, really quite wonderful. Solid scene. I love it. I laugh out loud every single time. It's really funny. Actors. Jim Carrey. I mean, it's Jim Carrey. You can't really complain. I'm not a huge Jim Carrey fan. I think what he does is great. And I think that he does a really good job portraying characters that he likes and can be over the top. But when he plays characters that are supposed to be, real and grounded, I feel like sometimes he can still be over the top. Like, Ace Ventura is crazy. We get that. He can be crazy. But when you're going to play somebody like Bruce Nolan, I think maybe some of that should have been dialed back a little bit. Because as unrealistic as, God showing up, that felt more realistic to me than Bruce Nolan being a real person. Because nobody acts that crazy. And it's fine. It's a Jim Carrey film, so, you can't really complain too much about it. But I just think that maybe it was a little too much. Morgan Freeman is God in the film, and he is a god in real life, and I love him. No complaints about Morgan Freeman. I love him. He did distract me a little bit because, I don't know, I mean, I love Morgan Freeman, but every time I see him, I'm like, that's Morgan Freeman. I never like, that's somebody else. However, in this film, he played God, and that is totally believable to me, so good casting there. I don't like Jennifer Aniston. Sorry. I've never really been a huge fan of her. I think she's a little overrated because she was in Friends. But whatever, not really my place to say anything about that. That's just straight personal preference. But Not a huge fan of her acting style. She's not funny, in my opinion. The only way that Jennifer Aniston is funny in any film is when she gets to play somebody stupid. And she's supposed to be kind of smart in this film, and I just didn't believe it. Now, where we were supposed to go here is Steve Carell. This is the big moment. This is his first actual film where he's, like, there. He did a wonderful job. Steve Carell is hilarious in everything he does, and this was no exception. He showed up on screen, and I don't know if you guys have seen the film, but if you haven't, you should go watch it, because it's funny. It really is funny. But there's this one scene where Bruce Nolan is making Steve Carell's character, Evan Baxter, like, just lose his brain in the middle of a newscast so that he gets fired, so that Bruce can get the anchor position. And Steve Carell just sits there going, and it's just unbelievable. It is hilarious. If you get a sec, go watch that scene. I'm going to try to put a link in the description to that scene because it is hilarious. So make sure you go watch that after you're done watching this video. It is hilarious. I've seen the outtakes too. That's also really funny because everyone around him is laughing and he's just like, it really is funny. It's hilarious. Give that a watch. So, down to my movie review. Really solid movie. Wasn't perfect. I am not going to give this an A+, because I don't think that all of the casting was perfect. I think we could have casted not Jennifer Aniston. I think that Jim Carrey was a good choice for the film. I do. I think it was maybe a little over the top, but still pretty good. The visual effects were pretty great for this film, so I'm not going to take any points off for that. From a director standpoint, really, really solid, really funny. I wouldn't have changed anything director-wise. So, all that aside, it still wasn't perfect. And so I'm going to give the film a B+. I'm not going to give it an A- because I didn't think it was that good, but a B+ sounds right to me. It was a solid movie that's funny. It's rewatchable. It made a series kind of, but we'll get to that later on down the road about how not really great that movie was. But overall, really fun, great for a family. You guys should go watch it. It's not on Netflix, but you can rent it. Really, really solid movie. I liked it a lot. I hope you guys take the time out of your day to watch it. Just don't take everything in that movie too seriously. Thank you for watching this video. I'm happy to see you guys here. I'm glad you guys are liking the content. Remember, if you have anything you want me to review or watch, put it down in the comments below, and I will get there. I have some pretty exciting projects in the works. I'm going to have John Wick up this week. I'm going to have some more Steve Carell films up, and I'm going to add it to this list I'm going to show you in just 1 second. And so I'm really excited to share with you all these projects I'm working on. It is really fun. I get to share what I think about films to you guys. I love talking about films, and I'm really happy to have an outlet to be able to talk to literally anybody who wants to listen, so I'm pretty excited about that. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the content to get more. And without further ado, the Steve Carell list. Right now, Bruce Almighty is number 1 because there aren't any other movies. But I believe I have another one coming out Saturday, and we'll see if that one goes above or below Bruce Almighty, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget, this Friday on the Monsters and Munchkins channel, we are going to be starting our live stream event every Friday at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons. I'm very excited. You guys should show up. It's a live stream. It's just 3 hours of fun every Friday night. Hope to see you guys there. Make sure to subscribe to them and subscribe to me. Thank you very much, guys.